Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Surbhi. I'm junior resident at Subharti Medical College and CSSH Meerut. So today I will be speaking on the topic of biography of Sigmund Freud. So before starting with the biography of Sigmund Freud, it is important for us to know that why do we actually go through biographies of people? Biography gives us an insight about the life trajectory of some very eminent personalities, and this helps us basically the ones who go through those biographies to understand that what struggles they went through, how was their life, and it actually helps us to inspire to do something great in life. So today we will be covering this topic under these headings. We'll be talking about Sigmund Freud, and then we'll be talking about his early life, his education, the crucial relationships during his lifetime, and his works and contributions, later years of his life, and then I'll be summarizing the topic and then followed by the references. Now, Sigmund Freud, from 1856 to 1939, was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis, a method for treating mental illness and a theory of human psychology. Freud's relationships, both personal as well as the professional ones, were integral to the development of his theories and the practice of psychoanalysis. His insights into human relationships also deeply influenced his work, which we'll be understanding through the subsequent slides. Early life. Sigmund Freud's early life was marked by both challenges and achievements that shaped his future contributions to psychology. He was born on May 6, 1856 in Freiburg, Moravia, which is now a part of the Czech Republic. His birth name was Sigismund Schlomo Freud. Freud's father, Jacob Freud, was a wool merchant of Jewish descent, and his mother, Amalia Freud, was Jacob's third wife. Freud was born into a large family and had a total of 8 siblings, though only his younger brother, Alexander, and his younger sister, Pauline, survived into adulthood. Freud married Martha in 1886 and they had 6 children together. Their marriage was generally affectionate and Martha was supportive of Freud's work. However, he often struggled to balance his professional ambitions with the family life, which is also one of the turning points in his life. And the matter that the wife was so supportive throughout his life is also one of the contributing factors for his achievements. Now, talking about his 6 children, out of the 6 children, Anna Freud, who was the youngest child, she became a prominent psychoanalyst herself, contributing significantly to child psychology and the development of ego psychology. The other children being Jean Martin Freud, Oliver Freud, Sophie Freud. Sophie Freud had a tragic life. Now they say that she also suffered from a mental illness and passed away young. This was also a turning point in the life of Sigmund Freud, which actually enhanced his interest in hysteria. And then comes Ernestine Freud and August Freud. Freud's relationship with his children varied, but he maintained close ties, especially with Anna, who became one of his most significant intellectual successors. His family dynamics and the influence of his children also informed his ideas about development and relationships in his work. Now, talking about the early education, as he was born to a wool merchant, he wasn't financial issues had always been a part of his life. So his primary education was from a local school in Vienna, and but he used to excel very well in the studies, and that is why he was actually recommended for the higher education by the school authorities themselves. He attended the Sigmund Freud Gymnasium, which is now actually named after his name, where he developed an interest in literature and philosophy. For the higher education, he was again referred further to the University of Vienna, where he studied medical studies. Freud enrolled at the University of Vienna in 1873, initially studying law before switching to medicine. He graduated with a Doctor of Medicine degree in 1881. Neurology and research. Now, during his time at the university, he became interested in neurology and began working under the renowned physiologist Ernest Burke. This experience deepened his understanding of the nervous system and scientific research methods. Influences. Philosophy and psychology. Now, Freud was influenced by the contemporary thinkers such as the Arthur and Frederick, whose ideas about human behavior and the unconscious would later shape his theories. Clinical experience. After completing his degree, Freud worked at the Vienna General Hospital, where he gained practical experience in neurology and psychiatry. Freud's education not only provided him with medical knowledge, but also instilled a scientific approach to understanding human behavior, which became central to his work in psychoanalysis. Now, talking about the crucial relationships throughout his professional life. So these are the three which are very prominent throughout his professional life. One is with Joseph Breuer. Freud collaborated with Breuer on the studies on hysteria, which introduced the ideas about the unconscious and talking cure. Anna O, she was actually the patient and was a significant figure in the development of Freud's theories on hysteria and psychoanalysis. And she actually played a very important role in his professional as well as personal life as well. Disciples and rivals, Freud had many influential followers, including Carl Jung and Alfred Adler, who later diverged from his ideas, leading to tension in their relationship. And this basically the tension in the three's relationship is what is very significant in the whole evolution of psychology. Now, his relationship with Joseph Breuer and the case of Anna O. Sigmund Freud and Joseph Breuer had a very significant collaborative relationship that played a crucial role in the early development of psychoanalysis. Here are the key points about their partnership. Freud first collaborated with him in the late 19th centuries, and Breuer was a known physician for his work with the patients who were suffering from hysteria, which is what attracted Freud towards him. And their collaboration culminated in the publications of the studies on hysteria in the 1895. The seminal work introduced the idea of talking cure, where patients could achieve catharsis and relief from the symptoms through discussion and exploration of their thoughts and feelings. This was a very evolutionary step because before this, hysteria patients were actually treated like untouchables. Nobody wanted to talk to them and nobody wanted to come in contact with them. But when both of them sat and came with the talking cure, it was actually evolutionary. People saw through the patients of hysteria and therefore came a good prognostic of factors also. Both Freud and Breuer emphasize the importance of the unconscious mind in understanding the psychological issues. They believed that repressed memories and feelings contributed to the mental health problems. One of the most significant work is on the patient Anna O, where he actually introduced the concept of transference also, which is carried forward till date as well, where the patient projects feelings about the significant figures in their life onto their therapists. This idea would later become central to the Freud's theory as well. Although they shared many ideas, Freud and Breuer eventually diverged in their approaches. He was more focused on the symptoms of hysteria and the physical aspects of mental illness, while Freud expanded the theory to include broader aspects of human psychology, including the sexuality and the development of ego and superego. The work of Freud and Breuer laid the groundwork for modern psychotherapy. Their innovative approach to mental health paved the way for Freud's further development of psychoanalysis, which would have a lasting impact on psychology as well as psychiatry. Relationship with Carl Jung. The relationship between Freud and Jung highlights how intellectual collaboration can lead to groundbreaking advancements, as well as how differences in theoretical perspectives can lead to significant shifts in the field. Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung had a very complex and evolving relationship. Initially, the two were close collaborators, and Freud and Jung saw Jung as a potential successor to lead the psychoanalytic movement. However, over the time, significant differences in their theoretical views led to falling out between the two men. Freud and Jung met in the 1907 and quickly developed a strong intellectual bond. Freud was impressed by Jung's work and saw him as someone who could help expand the reach of psychoanalysis. For several years, Jung was one of Freud's most prominent disciples and supporter. However, fundamental differences began to emerge between their approaches. Freud maintained a strict focus on the role of sexuality and the unconscious mind, while Jung developed a more holistic view that incorporated spiritual and mythological elements. Jung also disagreed with Freud's emphasis on Oedipus complex and drives of the ideal. These theoretical divides eventually led to bitter falling out between the two men in 1913. Freud felt that Jung was straying too far from the core principle of psychoanalysis, while Jung believed Freud's views were overly narrow and reductive. The break was accompanied by intense personal animosity, which with each other accusing of betrayal and narcissism. After their split, Freud and Jung went on to develop their own distinct schools of psychology. While they remained influential figures, their personal relationship never recovered, and they remained estranged until Freud's death in 1939. The rift between them had a lasting impact on the field of psychology and the trajectory of their respective theories. Relationship with Alfred Adler. Sigmund Freud and Alfred Adler had a complex and evolving relationship like that of Carl Jung that significantly influenced the development of psychoanalysis and psychology. Adler was one of the Freud's early followers and became a member of Freud's inner circle of psychoanalysts. He was involved in Vienna Psychoanalytic Society and contributed to the development of psychoanalytic theory. Both Freud and Adler were interested in understanding the human motivation and the unconscious mind. Adler was particularly drawn to Freud's idea about the significance of childhood experiences. Now, the divergence of theories. Adler introduced the concept of inferiority complex, arguing that feeling of inferiority drives human behavior. This focus on social factors and individual psychology marked a departure from Freud's emphasis on sexuality and unconscious mind. Adler placed greater importance on social influences and community, suggesting that a sense of belonging and social connection was crucial for mental health. Freud conversely emphasized the internal conflicts and drives. In 1911, Adler's growing differences with Freud led to a formal split. He founded his own school of thought known as the individual psychology, which emphasized the importance of social factors in the personal growth. Despite their divergence, both Freud and Adler significantly shaped the fields of psychology. Adler's ideas have influenced humanistic psychology and therapy, while Freud's theories laid the foundation for psychoanalysis. Their relationship illustrates the dynamic nature of psychological theory development and highlights how differing perspectives can lead to emergence of new schools of thought. Sigmund Freud and his works and contributions. So his major works include The Interpretation of Dream, which was launched in 1900. Then comes The Psychopathology of Everyday Life, which was launched in 1901. Three essays on the theory of sexuality in 1905, and Civilization and its Discontents in 1930. His major contributions include the most significant one, which is psychoanalysis. Freud introduced psychoanalysis as a therapeutic approach that emphasizes the unconscious mind, childhood experiences, and the importance of dream. Theories of the mind. He proposed a structural model of psyche, dividing it into ID, which is instincts, ego, which is the reality, and superego, which is the morality. Then he also talked about defense mechanisms. Freud identified various defense mechanisms such as repression, denial, and projection, which the ego uses to manage anxiety and conflicts. And then he was also one of the key people to actually analyze dream. In his seminal work, The Interpretation of Dreams, Freud argued that dreams are a window into the unconscious and can reveal repressed thoughts and desires. His fields of interest. Sigmund Freud's interest in human behavior was foundational to his development of psychoanalysis. He was very keenly interested in the unconscious mind. Freud proposed that much of the human behavior is influenced by the unconscious processes, including the repressed desires, fears, and unresolved conflicts. He believed that understanding these unconscious motivations was crucial for treating mental health issues. And then another one, the childhood experiences. He thought that they were significance of the early childhood experience in shaping personality and behavior. He believed that unresolved conflicts from the childhood could manifest as psychological problems in the adulthood. His take on dreams was that Freud viewed dreams as a gateway to the unconscious. He believed that analyzing dreams could reveal hidden thoughts and feelings, thus offering insights into an individual's psyche. Sexuality. Freud explored the role of sexuality in human behavior, proposing that sexual drives are fundamental to the human motivation. His theories on psychosexual development suggested that experiences during the different stages of childhood significantly impact the adult behavior. Defense mechanisms. Freud identified various defense mechanisms, psychological strategies the ego uses to cope with anxiety and conflict. Understanding these mechanisms helped explain why individuals might behave in ways that seem irrational or self-destructive. His relational dynamics. Freud examined the dynamics of relationships, particularly the familial relationships, and how they influence the behavior. Concepts like transference and countertransference in therapeutic settings highlight the importance of these dynamics. Freud's multifaceted approach to the human behavior has had a profound impact on psychology, shaping our understanding of mental health and influencing various fields including literature, art, and philosophy. His achievements. Now, this is very surprising that Sigmund Freud did not receive any formal award or prize during his lifetime, as his work was often controversial and met with resistance for some in the academic community. However, he did receive some notable recognitions like the honorary doctorates, and he was awarded by the Clark University in 1909, where he gave a series of lectures that helped introduce psychoanalysis to the United States. And then one was given to him by the University of Vienna, where he was honored, who honored him later in his life. And then he was also a part of the International Psychoanalytical Association. In 1910, Freud co-founded the IPI, which helped legitimize and promote psychoanalysis as a field of study. Recognition in literature and art. Freud's theories have inspired countless works in literature, art, and film, making him as a significant cultural figure. Posthumous recognition. After his death, Freud's contribution to psychology and the humanities has been increasingly celebrated, leading to various honors, lectures, and awards named in his honor by psychoanalytic organizations and institutions worldwide. While Freud may have not received traditional awards during his lifetime, his lasting impact on psychology and culture solidifies his legacy as one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Now, the later years of his life. Later years of Sigmund Freud's life was actually quite tragic. So in his later years, because like we read it in the very beginning, he was born in a Jewish household. And at that time, the World War II was about to end actually in 1945. So that time the Nazis, they were ruling the major parts of the Europe. So that actually hampered him also. So after the rise of Nazis in Germany, Freud, who was a Jewish, facing increasing persecution, in 1938 he fled Vienna, for London, where he lived for the remainder of his life. Now, this change of his lifestyle, his home, from his own hometown where he had spent all his childhood as well, to a newer city, posed a lot of health issues for him. And along with that, he was also suffering from oral cancer during that time, from the late 1920s, which caused him significant pain and led to multiple surgeries. Despite his health issues, he continued to work and to write, and his last publication was actually in the year of 1930s. Psychoanalytic contributions. During his time in London, Freud completed several important works, including Mosses and Monotheism, where he explored the psychological origins of religious belief. He also continued to influence the field of psychoanalysis through his writings and correspondences. Freud's health deteriorated and he faced increasing pain due to his cancer in 1939. After enduring significant suffering, he opted for euthanasia, a decision supported by his family and the physicians. Freud died on September 23, 1939, at the age of 83. His death marked the end of an era in psychology, but his legacy lived on, profoundly influencing the field and beyond. Now, to summarize, Freud's personality traits, his curiosity, analytical mind, and passion shaped his approach to psychoanalysis. His willingness to explore difficult topics and challenge societal norms laid the foundation for modern psychology. His complex character also contributed to the richness and the depth of his theories, making them both influential as well as controversial. Freud's work laid the groundwork for many modern psychological theories and therapies. And despite ongoing debates about his ideas, his influence remains profound in both the psychology and the humanities. These are my references, and mostly I've taken the text from Sigmund Freud, Life and Work, and as far as the other relationships with the other eminent psychologists is concerned, I've taken these articles for that. Thank you.